Welcome back to Cataclysm, Dark Days Ahead. We are following the journey of Aiden, a young man who has recovered from terminal illness only to face the apocalypse the next day. In his fourth-story apartment, we can clearly see the hordes of monsters and undead that gather around. None intelligent enough to climb up to his high perch, but perceptive enough to see him working away in his window. Aiden is a nerd, and as such, he is not properly equipped to slice and dice through the hordes. But that is his strength, equipment. With his knowledge and skills and the resources of an entire apartment complex, Aiden is going to build traps, armor, and the weapons necessary to augment himself against the nightmares below. Plus, being a regenerating psionic with telekinetic powers doesn't hurt either. Aiden had practiced his metaphysics and his powers for a few moments, gazing into the black crystal and focusing on it, until he fell asleep, and then, almost like he had forgotten that the apocalypse had happened, from west and below we hear smash, loud enough to wake him from sleep. This is a little bit of a problem. We are going to start a fire and see if we can make earplugs. What do we need? Makeshift earplugs. We need a piece of short cordage or a short string. Well, fortunately, if we look over here, we'll have a long string we can disassemble into short strings, which means that we'll be able to make earplugs. They're makeshift earplugs. And that'll help us sleep tremendously. So we can go ahead and wear that, and then now whenever we activate them, we can plug them in. And we'll probably wear those for the rest of our career, to be honest. Does mean that we'll try and get some sleep again, and set an alarm so that we wake up shortly after dawn. Aiden does realize, as do we, that we had put earplugs in, so setting an alarm to wake up was kind of pointless. But as we do wake up, we need to assess what our plan is for today, and as we get a little bit of food in us, we need to be thinking about that. So Aiden is not very strong. He's not very physically fit in any way, shape, or form. But he is really smart. And one of the things that he probably would have realized immediately is that's possibly one of the best ways for him to deal with the early days of the apocalypse here is to make a spear of some sort. And a simple knife spear might actually be one of the best ideas. It is flimsy, so it won't last long in combat. A wooden spear is that still flimsy? It isn't flimsy, but it does way less damage, right? It does 18 pierce. Yeah, it does significantly less damage. Spike on a stitch is 24 pierce, but is still flimsy. Yeah, the wooden spear, it's not durable, but it's also not flimsy. Flimsy items are going to break really fast. So despite the fact that it is less damaged by a pretty large margin, I think that's we're going to make a wooden spear, and then what we can do is if things do get hairy, we can put the wooden spear in our lifting field, and we can make sure that we favored it in such a way that that's always going to happen, and then pull out our cudgel for more of a close quarters melee battle. But whittling down a wooden spear, actually we're just going to stop real quick and we'll stop the fire. And I think what we'll do is we'll open doors in such a way that we can stand in the light. It doesn't look like that's going to work. I think we're going to have to open the window, which is unfortunate. But yeah. Where did my assembly go? There we go. So that we don't, burn up. We'll also be burning a lot of our fuel doing this. But this also will give us an absolute crap ton of fabrication. It will likely take a lot of our day to make this wooden spear because, well, Aiden's never made anything like this before, and whittling down a wooden spear just from memory, from like watching survival shows, is not the easiest. And I would like to remind you guys that this is not going to be Aiden's first weapon. His psionics and his stamina will probably be his first weapon, but the spear will be useful whenever there's too many. Like 1 or 2 zombies is about what he can handle right now. But anything beyond that, his psionics and his stamina are not practiced enough that he will be able to actually withhold or push that many zombies without just running out of breath. And at some point, it would actually be more dangerous to continue to spend stamina. Okay, finishing that. Do we have anything in our lifting field? We have the cudgel in our lifting field right now. Let's go ahead and unload our lifting field and then pick up the spear, which should automatically... Yes, it automatically went into our lifting field. And then we will... Oh, we don't have a belt or anything to put the cudgel in. So it's not fitting right now. We did have someone ask about this, and yeah, hammer only has prying 1, so we do actually need to keep... Actually, that's a good point. Hammer has prying 1, and the crowbar has prying 1. So with the hammer, we actually don't need the crowbar, which means that we might have enough room. We do not have enough room for the cudgel. It's probably because of the length. If I was to guess anything. Yeah, it's 23 inches long, and then the makeshift sling is... After making the spear, our next goal is that we actually want to make some traps. We'll go ahead and get our spear out of our lifting field for the time being, just so that we can pick up another one. Wait, really? It doesn't fit in our lifting field? That's unfortunate. We actually literally can't carry more than one. We are leaving the crowbar behind because we realized that the hammer has both prying and hammering on it, which means that the fully built hammer that we found is more effective than our crowbar in pretty much every task. But we do want to try and move down to the first floor here. If possible, we'll peek down and place some traps and kind of just run away afterwards. We can actually check down. Did anything follow us? It doesn't look like anything followed us. And what we'll want to do is we'll just want to place some traps down. And these traps are going to be one of our best ways of clearing out some, just a handful of the zombies on these first few days. Because, again, I don't mean to hum the point down, or to drive the point down a little too hard here, but we're not going to be capable of melee combat. And the combat we are capable of is going to... Oops, too far. Is going to be kind of few and far between, right? As Aiden goes down to place the next trap, he realized that he was not being as careful as he was before, and one zombie has made it here. And unfortunately, we cleared out our lifting field. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait a moment. Steps on the spike board. It's bleeding. We're actually not going to push it yet. If it comes upstairs, there it goes. Came upstairs, we're going to shove it against the wall and shove it against the wall again. We lost our concentration. We did hurl it away. We crushed it for some damage, and Aiden's just going to hold out one hand and continuously crush it against the wall, costing us a lot of stamina, but we did kill it. It's the first kill of Aiden. He had yeeted them down the stairs before, but not like this. There's a handheld game system, a book in here, and we'll check her wallet. He kind of flips past the pictures in there and ignores the fact that he technically just killed a human, or at least something that used to be a human. It feels strange for a moment, but honestly, not for that long. He's played video games before, and on some level, he knows that, well, these are zombies. He's doing them a favor on a certain level. Okay. The corpse does also kind of mark which floor is the dangerous floor to us. We're going to put another trap down here. So now we can still get around to this way, where something has busted down this door, and we can get around to this way as well. But if any zombies come in, they're very likely to step on traps. Ideally, we get another trap to put here, because the zombies do stumble, and they also like cutting corners. So it's very likely that they'll move this way, but they're also very likely to move to this space, so we'll probably want to make at least one more nailboard trap. And I think I also want to move this body out of the way. So it looks like the main thing we're missing is just, well, nails. So fortunately, with everything we have around here, we have a lot of nails to get. So we'll go ahead and gather up some more stuff. As Aiden comes back down to the first floor, he sees immediate evidence that this plan to thin out just a few of them is already going to work. I'm going to go ahead and pick up these nails as well. We'll check real quick if there's anything nearby. We got motorcycle helmets, some compression shorts, some other stuff. I won't be able to wear the motorcycle helmet because he has the nerdy glasses, which he does need to be able to see. But coming back upstairs, he needs to think about what his next step is. He has some basic weapons. He has learned a little bit more about his force shove. It's a little bit stronger than it was yesterday. He's getting stronger every day, and the more he focuses on this black crystal, the more he externalizes his mind, the better he becomes at it. But we need to think about potentially armor of some sort. We do have the ability to make some 2x arm guards and 2x shin guards, which is essentially just duct taped together planks and strings that are kind of on him. We also can make a pot helmet. It's pretty encumbering, but it will at least cover the crown, ears, and forehead. And it does actually have a decent amount of protection. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and make these. The arm guards and shin guards are only going to take about 45 minutes to make. And they're not going to be comfortable. And they're not going to be great armor. Yeah, rubs against my RM padded arms. So before we put these on then, that's going to be a problem. So we'll go ahead and make both pairs real quick. But we need to see if we can find in one of these places nearby some sort of long sleeve shirt in order to give some protection to him. We can probably wear the shin guards. Yeah. Do we have anything other than that pot helmet for our head? Not really. A scrap helmet would need steel. We actually probably could make a scrap helmet. It's 43 encumbrance. Oh my gosh, that's so much. And it only has 45% coverage. I mean, that's 45% more coverage than we have right now. Perhaps we can break something down. Did we get anything from this? Processor board, copper wire? No. Let's take a look around. We need to find something to put on our arms anyways, so we'll see if we can find some clothing or something that we can break down from some steel in order to make a better helmet. We will also grab some of the food we're seeing lying around as we check these buildings, because the food that we've already grabbed is kind of starting to run out. We only have so many days that we can stay up here and prepare before things start to get problematic. Oh, that's right. We actually learned last time we could just disassemble this. If we grab the bookshelf and move it out of the way, do we get enough light? Probably. There we go. Yeah. Metal sheets. If we grab a bunch of those and take them back to our place where we have more tools and more lights, I wonder if we can disassemble these metal sheets. Oh, I should also put up my books. I have a stack of books here for later, and the reason that they're all here is because I eventually plan on pulling a bookshelf over, but again, we're really, really weak. So there's no way we could actually do that right now. It looks like we need metal sawing in order to pull apart those things. Oh, we can make scrap metal out of the hinges. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. I was just looking at the disassemble menu here. That should be enough scrap metal. How much do we need? So scrap helmet is 50 scrap metal. Okay. Well, I'm going to do this for a moment and see if we can get enough scrap metal in order to pull this apart. Okay, there we go. We actually have a lot of options now. So we can make scrap leg guards. They're 95% coverage, a lot of defense. There are a lot of encumbrance though. But we also have a scrap cuirass. We might make some scrap metal armor here. Oh man, it takes so long to make. 5 hours? It's because we don't have any armor smithing proficiency. 43 encumbrance is going to be so much encumbrance. 18 on the chest for the scrap cuirass is a little bit better. I'm tempted to lean a little bit harder into that. I love the idea that Aiden is basically just taking sheets of scrap metal and taking the knowledge he has from playing video games and just basically duct taping this together with maybe a pillow and some shirts and just kind of like duct taping armor onto him. He has this imagination that how this is going to look at the end is that he's going to look like some sort of fancy knight. And in actuality, it's going to look really, really bad. Like, have you ever seen the movie Pan? I think it's, yeah, it's with Robin Williams. He's going to look like the Lost Boys, where it just has a bunch of shit strapped to him. It's not really armor. But you know what? It's the apocalypse, and it'll work for now. As we were working on our scrap cuirass, one of our powers and the use of them has led to an insight. We could use a quick burst of telekinetic force to create noise, luring enemies away from you or towards a trapped location. You can figure out the proper technique. That's something we're going to have to learn. We're going to ignore it for now and continue working on our cuirass. That's something we're definitely going to have to learn, because that might actually be a way out of here. And with our black crystal, we should be able to take advantage of the abilities of the crystal. Well, light up our candle here so we can continue working. We'll be able to take advantage of the abilities of the crystal in order to actually learn new psionics, something that's we wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have one. And do I not have a candle? It appears that I may have burned out my candle. Wonder if we left it on whenever we slept. Well, as unfortunate as it is, I guess we'll leave the fire on. We're going to get really warm, which means we're going to get really thirsty. And we might get some smoke inhalation, but this is a pretty important job to get done. In fact, we're actually going to close the blinds so that we don't attract any more things than we actually need to. And our entire second day of Aiden's life in the Cataclysm has just been spent crafting. His first day was disassembling and gathering materials, and his second day is crafting. Aiden is quite intelligent. He is going to take every advantage he can. So now we have some scrap cuirass. Hammer doesn't need to be in our hand. And let's see how bad this is. You know what? It's a lot less bad than I thought it was going to be. We're really warm, which is mostly because of this right now, right? Nope, we're still pretty warm. And our legs and our torso is pretty encumbered, but not as much as I thought they would be. They're also not as defended as I would like them to be. But we're going to very quickly kind of go through the houses and see if we can find some clothing to wear underneath our arm guards, so they don't rub Aiden's arms raw. Because he's just going to be really unhappy and really uncomfortable, and it basically artificially ups the amount of encumbrance he'll be under. Anywhere we see them, we're also going to be grabbing extension cords and rolls of cardboard, because Aiden has an idea of how those will be useful later. Oh, as we were exploring, we just found a bike helmet, which is going to be a pretty good starting helmet for us. Ooh, and a flashlight. Because it's not going to be nearly as much encumbrance. We'll also wear this bandana. We're probably going to take it off here in a moment once we get back, but we'll wear it so we don't have to carry it. And it's not going to be as much encumbrance to wear the bike helmet, but it'll still be pretty useful. He does pass up the boarded door, looking back at it, wondering, is it actually going to be a good idea to break down that door? There's no telling what could be behind it. Instead of carrying all of these mushy potatoes back, it's not going to make us very happy to eat them, but it's a good idea to eat them early, because they're going to go bad really fast. We still haven't found anything to cover our arms yet, though. We haven't found what we need on the upper floors. We're going to pull out our spear out of our lifting field and carefully move down into the next floor. I think we will activate our psionic power of night eyes for the first time. We can see a little bit better in the dark. Check these shelves. Ooh, there's a fencing book here. Might be useful. Ooh, and a candle. Please, candles. Candles are incredibly useful right now. Rational, take up some of our valuable backpack space with that. Plenty of food down here still. We see a lot of damage. So Honestly, we're a little surprised to not see any zombies here. There are some extra long white gloves. They cover 60% of our arms, 100% of our hands. It doesn't look appealing, and Aiden doesn't really feel like he looks like a hero. But if we don't find anything else, it might have to do, because... Oh, what's that? Another completely repaired hammer. We'll grab that because we've already damaged our hammer quite badly. No zombies yet. Another locked door. We're so close to the ground floor that I don't think he wants to try bashing doors in. This is the point where lockpicks are going to start being useful. I think we'll close the door behind us. We have one more floor that we can look at. The bottom floor is probably far too dangerous. In fact, we're probably already risking it on this floor. If we get into a fight somewhere around here, it's going to be very bad. In fact, as we look down, we can see that the zombies are actually ripping apart the walls and the floor beneath us, causing some serious structural damage here. If this gets bad, Aiden wonders if they're actually capable of tearing the whole building down. We probably can't live here permanently. This is going to be a temporary solution at best. So many useful books in this place. We'll want to find a tablet or something like that at some point that we can store all of them. I think he's going to be brave, and he's going to kind of lean across the railing and look down. It actually doesn't look that bad. Not here, at least. We do see one. See a lot of blood. I think we'll check. Oh, look at that. It's actually really nice to see. It's just so many dead zombies down here. Okay. Because it's nighttime, and we have the advantage of the cover of night, we're going to step down, and we're just going to very quickly move through the bodies here. Just kind of check them very, very quickly. And there's a e-ink tablet. Very nice, very nice. It's very low battery, though. But at least it's something. I heard some movement over here. Take a swing with the spear. Already did a good job here. Another swing. We took it down. Another zombie. Actually wasn't that bad. He's feeling some confidence after that. Maybe the spear will be more useful after all. More good for taking these things out. We can grab some of these lumps of steel and these chunks of steel. Take those with us. That's a little bit more material we have to craft with. Always make sure we close the door. And I think we're going to continue to make a little bit of a pile here of things that are very cumbersome for us to wear all the time. So like our cuirass and stuff like that. And we're not going to wear it inside our house, with the intent that anytime we leave, we're going to outfit ourselves with everything here before we actually head out. Looks like those chunks of steel made it into our lifting field, which is why we weren't able to drop our backpack earlier. Or sorry, not drop our backpack, but unequip our spear. But that gives us a lot more material to work with. And I think we should be able to wear these arm guards now without being uncomfortable. Yes, we are. Okay. And they're not so bad that I feel like we can't wear them all the time. So if we look at our coverage real quick, let's actually put everything on and see how we're doing. So yeah, if we look at our coverage with the wetsuit helmets and the bike helmets, which the wetsuit hood is a poor fit, we actually have pretty incredible 60% average coverage with up to 30 resistance in bash and 20 in cuts. We're not going to really run into too much ballistic and pierce right away, but those are kind of amazing to have early on. Our arms are not doing as well, and I thought that that was going to be the case. Only around 10, our foot's around 5, our hands are basically unprotected. Our legs are a little bit better, honestly. The shin guards plus the plastic apron is kind of adding up to a decent amount. And how about our torso? Our torso is only around 18, so our head is pretty damn good. We're probably not going to die from a head wound. Our torso is probably something we're going to want to focus on pretty heavily. We'll go ahead and take these off again because they're really, really hot, and that's just gonna burn calories really quick, or burn food really quickly. No, sorry, water. There we go. Don't burn water really quickly to just be so warm. We'll go ahead and take all of that off. Standing by the fire at the end of our second day. Aiden's wondering if there's anything else he can make right now without leaving this place that'll be of assistance to him. If you didn't think of anything, I'm happy to hear it. We have a lot of materials at our availability, and we have enough water to last a pretty significant amount of time. But there's not a lot more that I feel like we can make without some better tools. And as we are right now, we don't really have a lot of those better tools available to us. I guess one thing that we can make that I didn't even think about is bandages. We should be able to clean bandages. I've been recently told about this, that you can boil bandages. And yeah, I actually just never knew you could do this. It makes the bandages just a little bit better. I've actually been skipping that. I've been going straight from mateship bandages to the ones that require medical gauze and some sort of antiseptic, which I do think is probably better. Yeah, base quality good versus a boiled one, which is base quality average. So it's not like I was actually missing out on anything. These are basically the best bandages you can get anyways. So it doesn't look like we have a ton of water. So it's maybe not a great idea to use up our water on bandages whenever we have freaking repair nanites. Again, we're not going to heal very quickly. We do, in fact, have both flimsy and poor healer on top of being a lightweight. So we're not going to be healing through bandage use as much as our nanites are just going to kind of eat through our calories. So there's not much we can do. It's about to be nighttime. It's about to be like bedtime, essentially, anyways. I think what Aiden's going to do is we're going to just kind of put everything on and see about the situation down there. What's our goal? We want to see if we can find some zombies with some tools. Possibly a gun. Possibly a weapon, like a better weapon. And definitely a backpack. If we can get an early backpack and clean it off, that would be absolutely incredible. We are going to leave this extra flashlight we have because we need all of the space that we can possibly get. And again, we don't actually have a backpack. We have a freaking sling over our chest. So everything that we can get out of our inventory here is a good thing to get out of our inventory, because otherwise we're not actually going to be able to pick anything up whenever we get down there. We'll close the door behind us, make sure that nothing comes up the stairs. And with these repair nanites, Aiden is made brave. So we're going to catch our breath before heading down. Peek down first. And we'll double check real quick. Make sure nothing has made it into this pile that we really want. There's some chewing gum there. I do want an MP3 player. Ooh, and a lighter. There we go. Oh, and oh my gosh, I literally almost missed it. There's just straight up a hiking backpack there. It is filthy, so we're going to be looking for... Let's go up a level real quick. And we'll empty out our sling. Just drop it on the ground. Pick everything up out of it. Ah. The hiking backpack is not the best backpack. It's going to be pretty heavy, but it has a ton of room. Absolute ton of room. As we step out, we immediately see a tough zombie. The first thing Aiden's going to do is shove it back. And as he shoves it back, it was obviously already damaged as he splatters the zombie, one hand out, psychic powers slamming into it, splatters it against the back wall. He feels, at least in this moment, powerful. And on its corpse, we found a multi-tool, which will be incredibly useful. We don't want to get too far in here. We can just kind of take a look around. It looks like a lot of the horde might have moved away, but a zombie dog does come from the darkness, and we take one swing at it with the spear, and we do get a lucky swing and take it down. Find another lighter. Okay. Long sleeve shirt. That would actually be much better for us. We'll go ahead and take it in order to, honestly, we'll take all of these that we can. It might tell us that we don't pick something up. No, we actually could take all of it. Oh, that's right, because we have the backpack now. That's right, that's right. It's amazing, actually. We also want some wire, some lockpicks. These guys have kind of done us a favor and broken these things down, so we can just come down here and just grab the stuff that we need out of them, instead of having to worry about breaking them down ourselves and making a bunch of noise. We'll just grab that for now, and we're gonna do this in a couple trips of grabs because I don't want to spend so much time that we let something come up on us. Definitely want to get lockpicks. We've already seen at getting these doors down, it's a lot of effort with a hammer, and if we could master lockpicking, which was a skill that Aiden wanted to master anyways, he always found it to be fascinating. If we can master lockpicking, then we'll be able to much more quietly move throughout the city. We do still hear sounds of shuffling. There are definitely still zombies here. We have no idea how many. We're also picking up all the nails we can. Nails are going to be incredibly useful. Making more traps. Okay, there is a zombie cop right there. Human body covered in weather-beaten and badly damaged set of police gear. We wait a moment in the darkness. Seems like he passed us by. But that's a decayed zombie. We take a swing and miss, and take a second swing and, it goes down immediately. And in him is a battery. Hell yes. That's actually, another flashlight with another battery. It's a disposable battery, but it's more power. Power is going to be a valuable resource for us in these early days. And one of the things I think we're going to do as soon as we get upstairs is we're going to store all the books that we found. And we might actually go around and find a bunch of books and store them. We got some more alcohol wipes. Really good, considering we're going to need that kind of stuff if we ever get bits. Some naproxen is some painkiller. Fortunately, it's not addictive. Zombie kid. He hates to do it, but he reaches out with his hand and gets ready to push her back, hurling her away. She's wounded by it, but not dead. We take a swing. I'm gonna hurl her back again and back away. Immediately out of breath. His psychic powers are really taking a toll on him. She did bite us in the leg. Didn't do a lot of damage. We're going to move around like this. And then just push her back. So we take swings at her with the spear. This is what I'm talking about. Aiden is not a strong person. A single zombified child was able to dodge him repeatedly. However, as you'll notice, our wounds are already healed. As soon as the teeth left Aiden's leg, the wound was already closing. I'm gonna grab some more washing soda here. And whenever we get upstairs, we'll probably make a washboard. See about getting this backpack clean. Oh, I almost didn't see it. Sapper zombie. Lightning arcing across his body. Very pale, dead body with the worst case of static hair you've ever seen. Sparks of electricity frequently jumping off of it, lighting it up in the dark. You might not want to touch it with your bare hands or anything conductive, as fortunately we do have a wooden spear. I think it was attracted to some of the noise we made, but it didn't see us. Again, we have a little bit longer of a sight range than your average zombie right now. But Aiden doesn't really want to be a night stalking predator. He would prefer to be able to walk around during the daytime. This is just a temporary solution to a very hard problem of being fully surrounded. After collecting all those things, Aiden does sit down to just make our washboard real quick, and we're going to see if we can clean this backpack. The only issue we're going to have is that the backpack's kind of huge, so even though we can make a washing kit relatively easily, the amount of water we're going to need in order to wash this is going to be the problem. So let's just see what it's going to take. It's going to take 118 water, which means that, realistically speaking, we need a lake or a body of water to wash it. We need lights to do that as well. There's a field nearby. Is there a park like really close by? Or a pool? A pool would work too. Small dump, cemetery. There is a park here across the street. There is a swamp here as well. As dangerous as the swamp might be, it actually might be not a bad idea. There was a sewer grate. We could also go down into the sewer grate. There's a pond, but it's like 2 blocks over. That sounds like really dangerous to try and get to the pond. I think for now, it's close to midnight. He's just going to take the backpack off, leave it by his door, so that he can be a little bit happier while sleeping. We are going to study psionics with the crystal till we're tired and move on till tomorrow. Unfortunately, he sat with this crystal in his lap, focusing on it all the way until like 2 a.m. in the morning. And now he's hungry and tired and did not manage to learn this new psionic that he almost dreamt of in the previous day. So, just gonna have to go to bed. At least we got these traps done and we got a backpack. It's not like we didn't get anything today. Did we wake up in the morning? I think Aiden knows what his goal today is going to be. We are going to take much detergent with us as we can find. We're going to grab all of our washing soda, which we know was enough. Armor up, store the spear in our lifting field. And the goal today is going to be... Oh my gosh. Looks like all the zombies have moved out into the water for some reason. It's really strange. The goal today is to see if we can survive on the first floor for any amount of time. See if we might be able to clean this backpack. I haven't actually decided yet where the best location is going to be. The closest location is probably this forest and park right across the street here. But I don't know if that's going to be the best location. In fact, we're going to go ahead and take out the spear ahead of time. And we'll kind of just look down. There's a tough zombie there. Already bleeding, though. As it gets close, just... We actually don't want to push here. Just the problem is that right now, with the state of the game, force push also pushes all the items on the ground. And I'm worried that it will push the trap there. So we instead step upstairs. Looking back down, it looks like it did die. We're using a new sound pack, and I didn't recognize the sound of it death. Our old sound pack was had a very loud and bombastic death sound. We'll store a book real quick. How long does it take? 7 minutes? I don't know if we have that time. We don't. See another one go down? Yeah, that death sound almost sounds like it's got cut off. Is there any others? Oh, there's one right there. Kind of lure them into the traps here. And if they grab us, like that, we're going to push them away. And our concentration was broken. Okay, we moved her, and it moved the bodies too, but it did not move the spiked board. Oh, that's already a lot of them. We'll take a step back upstairs. Catch our breath. And it looks like they killed themselves on the traps. Good. I don't know how we're going to get outside. Let's go ahead and take a look. We do see some zombies, but pretty far off in the distance. There's a runner coming in. He immediately ran into the thing. And again, I'm curious if there's something wrong with my sound pack. I'll have to look into that between episodes, but it definitely sounds like the sound is kind of getting cut off, like midway through. I'm starting to understand how these sound packs work a little bit better, so I should be able to look into... Oh, yeah. Even stepping here. Oh, as we see, a zombie hunter. Aiden reaches out, gets bit by it, but as it bites into his leg, he manages to yeet it backwards with his psionic powers. We're going to just quickly bandage that. We're already very hungry. Some of that is us spending calories using psionic powers. Some of that is just forgetting to eat in this morning. He didn't have breakfast. And there's a zombie runner and a fat zombie. We'll back up to the door here. Looks like they didn't track us. Zombie runner grabs us. We'll yeet it and the pile it's standing on. Step back to here. And we actually shove it into the corner, it breaking its back on this brick wall. And our stamina is running out very quickly. This guy is bleeding badly, though, as we pull him upstairs and, again, shove him backwards. Oh. His psionic powers are doing, honestly, pretty well, and despite the fact that we've been bit a couple times, because of the repair nanobots that he has from his massive surgeries, they are managing to close up his wounds very quickly. For just a second there, we saw tons of zombies. It looks like a lot of them might be newly raised. And that's a screecher, a thin corpse, its chest swollen in what appears to be preparation. A thick black ooze drips from its open mouth. Okay, we're going to run as it screeches so loudly. It actually dazes us. We'll stop running, yeet it backwards into the wall. As with that screecher, we now hear the hordes coming. We get back upstairs. Another zombie grabs us. We fling it away. Tough zombie comes up. We fling that away too. Can we fling it out the window? No, but we can stab it as it gets smashed into the building. This was a bad choice. This was a bad choice. This is a bad choice. We go into a building and we just lean against the back wall, catching our breath, still dazed, reducing our speed and modifiers. They're gonna all be here now, aren't they? So many are coming in. Does seem like they're grabbing our traps. Oh, this was a bad idea. Why are we coming back down? The zombie did manage to grab us as we're going to push it away, head upstairs. The cop comes with, try and push him away, but it's too heavy. I say at least bleeding. He is, but we're going to have to kill him at this point. Okay, we're going to drop our spear and wield our cudgel. This is too close. Just kind of beat him down with the cudgel. Oh, Denarius. And, police duty belt. That belt, might actually be a pretty good thing for us. Go ahead and put it on. Put our cudgel in the police duty belt, and, apparently some sticks, some candy sticks had made it into our lifting field. And considering our lifting field can only hold one item, it was preventing us from putting, an actual important thing in there. Let's look. Is there anything else here that we care about? A holster, some pistol magazines, but we don't have the pistol. We didn't pick up the pistol with his police duty belt, did we? No, it doesn't look like it. But we can go ahead and use that tour guide. See if yeah, it added a bunch of the roads. Told us about the bridge that we already saw. And nothing and really all that useful, unfortunately. Even though his wounds are closing up, one of the major weaknesses of Aiden is going to be pain. The nanobites prevent us from being grievously wounded for long, but the pain of the injuries is still there. And because of that, we are going to struggle with long fights. We're going to struggle with long fights because we're going to get more and more pain. And even though we'll be full HP and healing, we'll be in so much pain eventually that we're not going to be able to fight. And with that screecher there, it just kind of reminded us that there is an absolute fuck ton of zombies down there. It's going to be something that we're incredibly careful with. But today also proved to Aiden that we can probably handle this. This is not unmanageable. We are in incredible amounts of pain. Our strength has completely dropped away. And he was scared for a moment, fighting that zombie top on the stairs. His melee skill is basically non-existent, so there was a chance that it was going to kill him. In fact, can we even get better at melee? Not really. Not really. But we can get better at our psionic abilities. Our force shove is already a higher level than it was before, and it's getting stronger every day. We now have a longer range to it, even. But it can be even stronger, I'm sure. Using it in combat was probably pretty effective, and I think we'll have to wait. With how many zombies are around us, we may have to wait until nightfall in order to find some place to go and clean our stuff. Perhaps there's something at the park that's actually, like, indoors that we can use to clean. Because we want to get this police duty belt and this hiking backpack to be, like, a permanent addition to our gear. In the meantime, I think Aiden's going to make a wooden needle and practice a little bit of sewing with the idea that if he was to get good at that, he could probably repair a lot of this stuff that he's finding in the apocalypse. Sewing seems like suddenly, although it used to be kind of pointless, at least in his mind, it's suddenly a really important skill. But with that, I think that is where we're going to unfortunately have to leave it here. In between now and the next time he wakes up, I believe we're going to store as many books as we can to get a sewing kit down. disassemble as many of these things and try to repair them as well, as many of the things as we can, in order for us to have the skill to refit and repair things that we want to keep long term. And then tomorrow night, we'll once again see if we can make it into the city and see if we can get somewhere where we can wash our clothing. We're also going to take a good assessment of how bad our situation is. Maybe even get to the gun store. It's really close by. And if we use the cover of night, at least for now, we may be able to do it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a like, a comment below with any suggestions. If you want to see more Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, please subscribe or check out my other hard video game videos. I hope you have a good night, and goodbye.